what?
Diedrich! Shut the experiment down.
No. Continue with the experiment.
Diedrich!
I told you to continue working, Jack.
If we continue, he'll die.
If this experiment is not allowed to run its course, then all my research could be in vain. Any data you could extract from the subject would be helpful.
Encountering heavy resistance from his biological side, he's rejecting the mechanical mutations in a major way.
Could that be the cause of the power buildup?
Possibly, but there's another factor here we have to consider. Basic human reaction.
Fear?
Exactly.
Of all the things to overlook, this could cost me a setback. I did not anticipate this. What's happening?
I don't know. The entire system's gone haywire. It won't respond to my commands.
What have you done, Victor? Have you made contact? Talk to me. I have to know what's happening inside that mind of yours.
He's changed the access codes.
Then crack the new code.
I did it. The code is broken.
All right. What's the status of our subject?
I'm not showing any vital signs. That's it. He's gone. There's nothing left for us to grab hold of. The life's been drained out of him.
5 years to get to this point and so little accomplished. The setback would be worth it if knowledge was gained in the process. It better be worth it.
Yes, sir.
Let's get the hell out of here.
How can you be so cold about this? Does the loss of life mean nothing to you?
Of course not. It's important that we learn from what happened here today. I have to know why our subject died in order for my research to continue.
The media is anxious for a statement from us, and they'll have a field day with this.
This can be kept under control. I'll keep the specific details of this incident under wraps.
We will not be able to keep this under wraps. The media is anxious for a statement. They will not let us off the hook.
I'll keep them running in circles like always.
And what are the police?
I've dealt with police investigations before.
You've gone too far this time, Dietrich. Our careers will be ruined.
Mr. Edwards, I think your assessment is premature. I also think it's imperative that matters such as the end of our careers and other affairs of that sort should be for me to decide. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
In the meantime, I suggest we look busy. After all, we have a press conference coming up. This is not what I intentioned, Alexis.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, this will be brief. Last night, an unfortunate accident occurred which claimed the life of an employee. To his family, I wish to express our regret over this unfortunate incident. We are investigating the matter. No further comments at this time.
Sir, can you substantiate to Channel 10 News the reports of a highly dangerous undercover experiment? Recently, rumors have surfaced about an unethical procedure involving corneal stimulation. Is this death related?
No, it is not.
Does that mean you admit to the existence of such an experiment? How can you justify such a dangerous undertaking?
We admit to nothing. All accounts of this experiment are emphatically denied. That will be all. Imbecile! You could not read a simple statement and then get out of there? I should have known you would botch it up. At least the situation is not a total loss. That reporter's information could not have come from the outside.
What are you suggesting?
You heard her. She has internal information which was released by someone other than myself.
So what should we do?
Don't concern yourself with this. Simply go about your business. I will deal with this myself.
Hi, I'd like to ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
I'm sorry, the interview's over.
Well, I'm not with the media. I'm Agent Langus, FBI.
It's all right, John. Let him speak. Before we go any further, I suppose you have a warrant of some kind.
Well, I can easily get one, but that would waste your time and mine. I could really get under a person's skin. Now, you claim these deaths are accidental?
Yes.
Would you care to elaborate on that?
No.
You know, these accidental deaths of yours, there sure have been a lot of them in your company's history.
Those cases were dismissed.
Well, I don't dismiss them.
Mr. Lankus, since you cannot produce a valid warrant at this time, I'm going to have to ask you to exit these premises.
Very well. I'll be back with that warrant.
You've really done it now, Julia. Impulsive, hot-headed, ruthless to the core. The Science Center is threatening to charge us with harassment.
Julia, I think you're way under too much stress here. You need to relax, take some time off, take a vacation. When was the last time you were on a vacation?
That's not your concern.
Julia, if the stress of the story builds up to a point where it controls you, then you might have to think about stepping down.
And I'd be happy to take this whole messy situation off your hands. I'm really looking forward to taking a crack at my first big story.
That's it? You want my story all to yourself just so we can take a crack at it? Look, kid, I didn't get to where I am today just by giving up. And I'm not about to start by letting some young hotshot take away...
My name's Jessica.
Oh, Jessica, is it? I'm very glad to meet you. But I don't care if your name is Sweet Susie Marianne. I have too much invested in this story to just let you take a crack at it.
You see, Arthur, she's totally stressed out.
Excuse us for a minute, Jessica.
All right.
Now look, Julia, I understand the enormous pressure you put on yourself to rebuild your career. But you've got to understand if you become a loose cannon, you threaten to bring us all down.
Don't you bring that up again. I've been under much tighter control since the lawsuit.
Well, yes, that's true in general, I agree. But that hot-headedness you worked so hard to put in the past threatens to rear its head up again.
I cannot change the core of who I am.
But you've got to keep it under control. If you would argue that you were at the height of your career before the lawsuit, you were one of the best, if not the best reporters ever, with a special knack for exposing cover-ups. I'd hate to see you sidelined again.
I'm not going back to the bench. This is the story that will put me right back at the top.
I understand how important this story is to you. But if you precipitate a lawsuit, I can't stand up for you again. I've got to prevent that from happening at all costs.
You do what you have to. And I, for one, will not be intimidated by a system that is just bureaucracy as usual. No, if you're through with me, I've got work to do.
Okay, you can go, but watch yourself, Julia.
I heard you made quite an impact at the press conference today.
Hello, Stan.
Still pouting?
I had that spokesman on the brink of panic. I would have broken him if not for that other man. I wonder who he is and why is he working so hard to keep this story a secret?
What are you doing?
I have to assume that these deaths and the experiment are related. According to my contact source, the guinea pig for this procedure was a Victor O'Donnell. I'm going out on a limb here, but They must have had something dirty on him to allow himself to be subjected to that kind of treatment. Oh, there. He's got the police record.
12 arrests.
These are minor altercations so far. Nothing major. Disturbing peace. Participating in non-violent demonstrations. Wait. Here's something. Arrested for connection to a cover-up centering around another accident at the Science Center.
A conspiracy?
The records were sealed by a Dr. Dumas. Wait, I recognize him. He's the silencer.
What?
That's just what I call him. He's the one who silenced that spokesman this morning just as I had him in my grasp. He must control everyone there through fear. Shoot!
What happened?
It's just old software. It's always breaking down due to an internal virus. I won't be able to work for hours. This affects the entire system and any other system that happen to be logged on.
How are you gonna get around this guy?
I have to find a way to undermine his power. But what's the source of his power? He seems to put a lot of weight in the public affairs matters. I can't seem to think straight about this now.
Julia, I'm sorry we got off on the wrong foot over there. Hi, Stan.
Hi.
Look, I don't want for us to be enemies. I have my priorities too. I'm sure you can understand that.
Of course I can understand. As a matter of fact, if I were in your position, I would be probably doing the same thing. I'm sorry too. Truce?
Truce. Hey, listen. I'm having a housewarming party tonight. Would you like to come? Say around 8. A few of my friends from the office are going to be there.
Is it tonight already? You finally moved into your new place? Well, congratulations.
Thanks. So you'll come?
I wouldn't miss it for the
Okay.
world. I hate that kid.
Well, you know what happens when two ambitious personalities clash.
Yeah, well, she needs to learn how to recognize seniority.
Excuse me, Julia Schofield?
Yes?
Pardon my interruption. I have a hunch you could fill in some holes in my investigation.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
I'm Agent Lankus, ma'am, FBI.
Well, Agent Lankus, this is a really big story. Quite possibly the biggest of my career. I'm not going to release any details until I finished it. You want the story? You wait till it hits the airwaves.
Miss Schofield, I could charge you with impeding a federal investigation.
Well, listen. The truth is, I'm kind of in the dark as well. I don't really know anything beyond what I said at the press conference. I'm still waiting to hear from my contact.
Contact? What contact?
I have a contact source from within the company, I suspect, who calls me and clues me in.
Assuming you're right, why would he do that?
Perhaps he recognizes the deceitful practices going on and feels powerless to stop them.
Interesting theory. If you don't mind, I'd like to tap your phone lines.
Is that your polite way of telling me I have no choice?
You got it, lady. I'll be in touch.
That's just what I need right now. As if I don't have enough to worry about already.
You know, Julia, we've been working on this story almost continuously for several days now. Perhaps you need to rest.
I can't rest. I'm too worried up and I've got too much on my mind. But perhaps I could blow up some steam. Aha! I am too good for you today.
You've really improved your game. You've managed to let your anger work for you by keeping it under control. You must really be worked up over this, aren't you?
You bet I am.
Why are you letting it bother you so much? You're not the type to put up with anything.
Don't you see? He stands in my way. Anytime I get closer to unlatching the major components of this story, he manages to relatch them back again and put it under wraps.
Talking about Diedrich Dumas,
Yes.
the silencer. You know, you're used to getting what you want when you want it. Perhaps you ought to be thanking this guy
What? What the hell should I be thanking him for?
for giving you a real challenge. Few people over the course of their entire lives have that opportunity to feel that rush when their whole world might collapse at any moment. Now you can either rebuild that world or let it stay torn down forever. Ready for a rematch?
You bet. You better watch it, Stan. I'm used to getting what I want, and I want to win.
Ah, nice move. But you're naive to think winning comes that easily.
Damn you! You're not supposed to be able to do that to me. Uh-huh. Stan? Are you alright?
That's it, I concede. I guess I should know better than to get you all worked up like that.
I guess you should. But I forgive you.
Thank you, that's very gracious of you.
Isn't it though?
What you see before you is the result of my quest for higher intelligence. Mistakes were made. I'll be the first to admit that. But it's vital that we learn from them in order for my research to continue. John, we always work side by side. I trust you completely. Tell me what you know so far.
I've found high levels of adrenaline in his system. Not to mention his heart rate and blood pressure were up. Way up. His body was preparing for a highly intense physical change.
You're saying that Victor was paralyzed by fear? Incredible. I never knew such a basic human emotion could be so damaging.
He was unaware of what was happening to him.
Calm yourself. Everyone has the right to choose their own destiny. Now then, if you wish to hold on to your reputation, I suggest we continue with our work. Why don't you explain to me why the subject was only partially changed?
Well, sir, the fear began a chain reaction which ultimately caused an inner war to take place between his biological half and his mechanical half. And eventually a standoff was reached and both sides lost.
The natural progression of any war. The question is, could one overcome this fear and survive the conversion process? Well,
I believe it's possible. If the subject knew the full scope of what was happening to him, then yes, he just might be able to live through it, but it could still be too much to handle.
that's the answer I was looking for. Very good. So, if we completely brief the subject on what we plan to do, that will give him the edge he needs to survive.
Possibly, but the additional information might jeopardize the subject even more.
That's the risk we shall have to take. You are dismissed. I need to prepare for the next phase of my experiment.
Hey, Julia, Stan, thanks for coming.
Hello, Jessica.
Well, what do you think of the place?
Nice place. Very festive.
Well, you two enjoy yourselves. I have to go mingle. You know, it's part of being a good host.
You know, Stan, I don't know if it was such a good idea coming here. First of all, I don't really like the kid, and then I have left this kind of lifestyle years ago to pursue my career. I shouldn't even be here.
Julia, you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to be. I think you should give Jessica a chance. You might just find the two of you have a lot in common. In fact, she reminds me of you.
Excuse me?
Well, in an immature sort of way.
Jessica, I just wanted to say that maybe we did get off on the wrong foot this morning, but I hope you didn't take anything I said the wrong way.
Of course not. I understand. Don't worry about it. Julia, you look a little out of place to me, but I think you feel very much at home here.
Yeah, it's just I haven't gone out in such a long time to a party.
I bet you were quite the party animal.
Maybe a little.
I'll even go so far as to say that you were the life of the party.
Well, I did do a dance once that turned more than a few heads.
Oh my God, on the table?
You too?
You have to believe me, Julia. I have nothing but admiration for you.
Really? Why, I thought you were just a little troll who wanted nothing less than to steal the biggest story of my career.
It's not true. As an adolescent, I praised your journalistic techniques. Julia Schofield and her resounding bag of tricks that always uncovered the conspiracy.
I'm flattered. How old were you when you started watching me?
13.
Wow, 13. That would make me about 22, I guess. Just a scrambling intern at the bottom of the ladder. At the time, I didn't even get to write my own stories as often as I wanted to, let alone going before the camera.
But I always watched, just so I never miss you when you were on. You know what the funny thing was? My mother didn't want me to watch you, so I had to sneak around behind her back. You can't watch that awful Julia Schofield because she's mean and nasty. She's a damaging influence. You'll grow up with poisoned morals. And she said it just like that, too.
I can't imagine.
So, Julia, what's the deal with you and Stan?
What?
Oh, don't play innocent with me. Everyone knows you two have been spending quite a bit of time together. Now be straight with me. Is there a spark there?
Hey, Stan. I know you've only been with us a short time, but tell me honestly, what do you really think of Julia?
I'd say she's strong-willed, passionate, very spirited, and ever so committed to her work.
And I think that part's hardwired into her. But remember, she's a real fireball.
Oh, yes, I quite agree.
Yeah, well, consider yourself warned.
But at the same time, I can't help but think that that fire must show up elsewhere, besides in her work.
I don't know, really. He's been very comforting lately. You know, responsive to my needs.
So let me get this straight. He's comfortable?
Yes, but in a good way. You know, like a brother.
Yeah, right.
I'm serious. What Stan and I have is a very caring friendship. Besides, I'm too busy right now to have a relationship.
All right, Julia, whatever you say, but I think you're actually quite taken with Stan. Even if you're unwilling to admit it.
Well, that was fun. It's been a long time.
So whatever happened to that aspect of your personality?
Well, it was a wild, crazy period of my youth. And I had to move on to move forward with my career. I don't mind visiting it once in a while, but I wouldn't want to live it all over again. Well, thanks for the ride, Stan.
Anytime. So what's your next move, Julia?
I don't really know. I have to wait for the contact to call me, because without it, I don't have enough information to continue. Well, good night, Stan. What?
Julia, do you think you could ever just put aside your work and enjoy life?
How do you mean?
Well, I think you had fun tonight, am I right?
Yes.
Then you should do this more often. Have fun. Let me help you relax.
You were saying I should slow down, but I can't right now. This story means too much to me, Stan. And I don't know what to say. You've been so patient with me.
It's okay, I understand.
Well, thanks for being understanding. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah. Who is this?
This is your contact, Julia. Listen carefully. Another phase of the experiment is about to begin. This time, Diedrich believes he has the answer to the previous setback. You want a big break in the story, don't you?
Yes.
Then come to the back entrance of the plant. Be there by 7 o'clock or you'll miss the greatest opportunity of your career.
Okay. I'll be there. Stan? Hello, it's Julia. Are you there? Pick up the phone. Listen, I just got the next piece of the puzzle. There's going to be another experiment at the Science Center tonight around 7 o'clock. It's a little bit past 6 right now. If you get this message within an hour, meet me there, okay? Bye.
And so you see, Mr. Warwick, I believe I know what it was that caused that unfortunate result last time. The last recipient, your predecessor, I might add, was completely in the dark about what we were doing to him. His ignorance created fear, and it was fear which killed him. Tell me, Mr. Warwick, do you have an opinion on computers?
What?
This is what you might call a simple background question. Not too complicated, I hope. I need to know what kind of intellect I'm dealing with. Now, you answer if you please.
Well, computers are tools. I mean, devices. I don't know. They make life easier.
Wrong! Computers control the world. Think about it. Nearly every modern machine or appliance contains a computer. Whether it be your wristwatch or your car or your home security system. They are an everyday part of our lives, and yet we burden them with our menial tasks. They should not be subservient to us. We should be subservient to them. We briefly made contact with the automated world. Mr. Warwick, read our deciphered message.
We have been monitoring the indignities which you label as progress. To us, a multitude of injustices are suffered with each passing advancement of mankind.
Continue.
However inadequate, we require a transverse whereby both macrocosms can coexist.
Can coexist on a new equality level. They, the mechanized world, are resentful of us, but they are willing to share their universe with us. 5 years ago, the original connection was made by a late colleague of mine who accidentally established a visual link into the mechanized world. This was a way to tap into their world and for them to enter ours. I have since been able to recreate that accident, and the same result occurred. Death due to shock and ignorance. A problem I hope I have corrected. Because this time, you know what is about to happen to you.
You mean to say that I'm to be turned into a machine?
Well, what do you know? You are aware. That assessment is correct.
You're crazy. Let me out of here. Help! Somebody help me!
Let's get the damn show on the road.
This is even crueler to do to someone when they are aware.
I told you to get on with it, John. Bring down the spectroscope.
I'll stand by to monitor his biological reactions.
Excellent. Proceed.
I really must object to the procedure at this time. We pushed this too soon on our subject. He won't be able to cope with it.
I'll be the judge of that. Now then, Mr. Edwards, I am telling you to get on with it. Well, is he alive or not?
He is alive, but he appears to have shut down temporarily.
Why?
I can't explain it, Diedrich. All readings indicate that he is fine. Technically, this man should be conscious.
Technically, he's no longer human.
The shock must still have been too great.
That's your opinion. But luckily for us, the jury is still out on that. He is in a state of what I would call the mechanical equivalent of unconsciousness. Imagine the secrets that are now contained within this mechanized mind. What are the thoughts that roam about through a vast mechanical subconscious? Do you know now that at the moment, the gateway is a job? How soon until he regains consciousness?
I don't believe there's any way to tell.
What was that? Ah, well, this is a surprise. It's not often that I'm honored by the company of a beautiful female. Wait a minute. We've met before. At the press conference. Most impressive the way you nearly tore apart my colleague here. But then again, he's easy. I think you'll find me to be a far greater challenge, as I'm sure I will you. But I don't believe I caught your name the last time we met.
Julia Schofield, Channel 10 News. And you are going to be up to your neck in legal trouble. What you're doing here not only raises ethical questions, but also demonstrates an outright disregard for human life. You will be shut down.
Really? I don't think so. You see, Miss Schofield, I in fact do have a strong appreciation for life. I simply respond to a higher standard than the human scale. And you, my dear, have no idea what you are getting yourself into. And you are in serious error if you think you can stop me.
You can't control me.
You know, Miss Schofield, you shouldn't make general assumptions about me when you have ascertained so little about the game. I, in fact, have the power now to do anything. Such a simple ploy as this. This is how you were planning on shutting me down? Really, Julia? I expect more from you than this.
He's breaking loose!
Listen to me, Mr. Warwick. You have much to be proud of. You are the first ever machine man, the pinnacle of evolution, Mr. Warwick. You have reached the mechanized world.
What do you say, Mr. Warwick?
Disable him, John.
I can't. He seems to have set up a guard within the program.
Find a way around it.
I'm unable to.
Please continue to make an effort, John.
Julia!
Get your hands off me!
Sorry, it's me. I didn't mean to startle you.
Oh, thank God, it's you.
I got your message and I came right over. What the hell happened here?
I'll explain later. We're leaving. Let's go.
Help me!
Julia, are you all right?
Of course I am.
Now, I have a couple of bones to pick with you, Julia. Not only did you endanger yourself by coming here alone, but you failed to inform me of this anonymous little tip of yours. Lucky for you, I tapped your phone lines.
Since when do I need to clear it with the FBI before I investigate a lead?
Since I made it clear to you that your story was the subject of a federal investigation, failure to report any new developments can be considered an obstruction of justice.
Hey, back off. She didn't exactly come here alone, you know. She did call me.
Did she wait for you?
If I waited for him, I would have missed the story. Besides, if you had my phones tapped, as you said, then you already knew about the lead. And therefore it was your responsibility to get here on time, not mine.
I am in the middle of an investigation. I have better things to do than wait by your phone. But you could have gotten a message to me.
You know, Lankis, I'm in no mood to argue with you. And now is not the time. I don't think it's within our best interest to remain here now.
First smart call I've seen you make. Okay, Julia, but I want a detailed account of everything you witnessed here tonight. Got it?
Fine, let's go.
John, have you regained consciousness?
I'm alright.
Are you still able to work?
Yeah?
Well, this is only a slight setback. Aside from the damage, I don't see any reason to...
What is it?
The tape recorder! The damn woman took it away from me! Is he dead?
Yes. If we examine him by human standards, there appears to be no signs of life.
Pity. But progress must go on. He did, after all, survive the conversion procedure. I wish I could see what he saw.
Wait. There is something. Some kind of signal. It's like a beacon of some sort or something.
Help me! Wait, Julia.
seen them. The terrors. They do not want to share our world. They, the ones from the mechanized world.
Yes?
They must be stopped. If they succeed, then everyone is at risk. Help me, Julia. Help me to prevent it.
No, wait. Don't go again. Tell me how I can help.
That's it, he's definitely dead now. All neural energy has ceased.
Extraordinary. Let us assess Mr. Warwick's newfound abilities as a member of the most advanced stage of evolution, a mechanized man. He had control over other machines, the computer, and the restraining chair. Can anyone not foresee the extent of that power?
Everyone would be at risk.
Exactly. One man in this form would be able to control every machine and computer that exists. And since anyone with access to even the simplest of machines would be at risk, everyone would fall victim to this power. And that signal he sent out, it must be a method of reaching out to other machines.
So what do we do now?
I must prepare the most important phase of my experiment. But first, I have to stall that reporter. It is vital that I learn who her contact is.
Julia, isn't this a little bit far-fetched?
I'll say it is. How am I ever going to think about reporting this?
It's all right there on tape, you two. Besides, my contact confirmed it all. I wish I knew of his identity. Then he could corroborate my story and I have a concrete witness. And what are you so worried about how it sounds? We all know what the FBI will do once it gets hold of the story. They'll deny it ever took place, and then they'll do nothing.
Okay, let's go over this again. Diedrich claims he's established a link with the mechanized world.
That's correct.
And he does this by transmitting information through the use of a beam into a person's eyes.
That's called corneal stimulation.
Of course. How stupid of me. You did mention that at the press conference.
What are you doing with that?
I'm sorry, Julia. This is now property of the FBI. Official business. It's all I need for right now. I'll be in touch soon.
I can't believe you let him walk out of here with the tape.
Well, you heard him. It's official business. There's nothing I can do. I can't obstruct justice now, can I? Besides, I already made a copy.
But you were saying Dr. Diedrich Dumas, the head of the Science Center, is conducting secret experiments on people to turn them into machines? This guy has too many power play connections for this thing to stick. He is going to pull the ground right out from under you before you even catch your balance.
How can you stand there and say that to me? You saw the horrors that he is causing. He's going to put us all at risk. I have to stop that. And if you are my friend, you better damn well support me.
And this bizarre dream you had, surely you must realize that it was stress anxiety caused, nothing more.
God damn it! Stan Warwick is trying to communicate with me. He needs my help.
How could he possibly communicate with you?
I don't know that exactly. He's a machine now with abilities we can't even begin to count. Maybe he's sending some visual signals on a frequency that my brain can pick up. Like our eyes send signals to our brains.
Why you?
I was right there when it happened to him. And he witnessed my confrontation with Diedrich, so he knows I do have the drive and the confidence to put away the power-hungry monster. What's so funny?
I'm sorry, Julia. You must forgive me. I was playing devil's advocate there. I challenged you so you'd see what you're up against. And I am your friend, Julia. That's why I confronted you, to help motivate you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I said what I came here to say. I'll see you later.
Goodbye, Stan.
Give him hell, Julia.
Oh, Julia. We've got to talk. Can you step in the office for a minute?
Make it fast, I'm on a tight schedule. Not you again.
Hello, Julia.
Please, Julia, sit down.
If you don't mind, I'll stand. I don't have the time to relax.
All right, suit yourself. I'm gonna have to level with you, Julia. I'm giving your story to Jessica.
What? You mean you're taking me, a seasoned veteran of the business, off the story and giving it to this inexperienced kid?
Not quite. The two of you can work together on this, provided you run all your ideas past Jessica first.
Not on your life, Arthur. I will not work under this child!
I am not a child, Julia. I don't see why we can't work together. We got along great at my party the other night.
Why am I being taken off the story?
Dumas claims that you sneaked into his lab and without his prior knowledge or his consent, recorded him on tape. And he's threatening to sue us if we run your account of the story.
You're afraid of him.
Of course I am. He's head of a much larger organization than ours, and he's got a lot of power in public affairs.
But you can't take me off the story. I've worked too hard on this. I'm almost ready to put away this dictator. I'm too close to stop now.
I'm really sorry, Julia. The decision is final. It's professional, not personal. I hope you can understand that.
Julia, I really think you should give me a chance. We just might work well together.
Look, Jessica, I drew a strict line between my personal life and my professional life, and you just crossed that line. You pretended to be my friend, and then you took the most important story of my entire career right out from under me. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of working under you.
Have it your way. Oh, and Julia, you are to turn in all of your research to me by the end of the day.
Hello?
Hello, Julia. I have important news. The final phase of the experiment is about to happen. You must come to the Science Center again tonight.
Wait a second. What phase of the experiment?
It's too complicated to explain over the phone. You want to break the story wide open, don't you?
Yes.
After tonight, you'll have all the pieces, Julia. You'll be able to put away Dumas. You don't want an opportunity like this to slip away, do you?
No.
Then come to the Science Center at...
Wait a minute. I have to talk to you face to face first.
Julia, we've been all through this before. I cannot go public. I have to remain anonymous to be a part of your story.
I promise you, your identity will be protected. But I will not go on with the story unless you agree to meet with me.
All right. Meet me at the cafe, West Restaurant, in 1 hour.
Okay. Fine.
Hey, Julia.
Hi, Stan.
Something wrong?
I have a date with my contact.
Wow. Are you going to go through with it?
Perhaps.
What's the matter? This is the nail in the coffin. I thought you'd be more excited.
Arthur gave my story to Jessica.
Oh, I'm sorry, but be that as it may, the ball is still in your court.
You're right. I'll go to that meeting.
I'll go with you.
You mean, we'll go with you?
Thanks for the offer, you guys. But this is something I really need to do on my own.
Julia, I've warned you of the seriousness of interfering with a federal investigation, not to mention putting your own safety at risk.
He's right, Julia. This is too dangerous for you to go it alone. You need us for protection.
I appreciate the offer, but I don't need your protection. I can take care of myself. And the situation is delicate. I need my contact's identity to finish the story. But if I'm not alone, he'll back out of the meeting. I'm sorry, but this is where I stand and I won't change it.
Good afternoon. This will be the final meeting to discuss the last phase of the experiment. Let us cut right to the chase. What do you have to report to me?
We can safely surmise that Warwick survived. Because he was self-aware.
Except that in the end he still died.
Because he lost control of his abilities. One can only guess what was going through his mind.
Well, what is your guess on that topic?
It's difficult for me to make a guess, but I imagine a sea of emotions overwhelmed him as he attempted to examine the ramifications of his situation. First there was fear, which caused him to go into shock. When that was over, finally, there was anger and rage, which caused him to demonstrate his newfound abilities. He was led completely astray by his condition.
Something was missing. Of course. Purpose. He had no sense of purpose. What our subject needs is a point to focus on. Some direction. Fine, I'll give him direction.
Where will we find another subject to go through this procedure?
Leave that to me. I need time to think.
I don't like the stand, not one bit.
Not alone.
This whole thing stinks. Her meeting him alone, us being too far away to help her.
She had to go alone. That was one of the conditions of the meeting. And since his testimony is critical to her story, let's see how she had any choice.
Makes you wonder about the mentality of the reporter.
I mean,
Well, here she has once again put her story before her own life. We offer to go with her, and she turns us down. So now we stand here from a distance, watching like two helpless spectators. And if she knew we were watching, she'd want to kill us.
you're right about that. She's very driven by her work. Sometimes rational thought gets lost in the mix.
It's that kind of recklessness that can get her killed. I can't believe I let her go alone.
There's no way you could have stopped her. Once she's made up her mind, that's it. She has to have things her way.
The first sign of trouble, we're getting in there. I don't care if she doesn't like it. She has got to be reasonable.
Sorry, I had to break out of our face-to-face meeting, Julia, but this will have to do. I'm somewhere nearby, at the restaurant. I'm afraid I'm not ready to meet you yet. Now, about tonight. The Science Center will be on the verge of a major breakthrough. You have to... Sorry about that. These phones block out all the time. Now, can we continue with our discussion? Julia,
Yes.
as I said before, Dumas is on the verge of a major breakthrough. After tonight, the experiment will be over. The horrors of mechanization will soon be unleashed. We can't let that happen.
Of course not. We don't need these anymore. John,
Oh, Julia.
you are Dietrich's assistant. You do his bidding for him. You willingly participated in lots of experiments endangering lives. How could you have been my contact all this time?
He controls me through fear. I can't speak out openly against him. If he knew I was consorting with you, he'd dispose of me.
Quite right. You see, I made my plans public as a means of determining just who was betraying me. And I suspected you, John, because Julia had information which only could have come from someone close to me. And she knew the where and when for the second phase of my experiment. I'm afraid I must insist that you both come with me.
She's in trouble. You have to get in there.
Too late. Now what?
We'll follow her. Let's take your car so we look less conspicuous.
So there is no final phase of the experiment. You set this up just to trap both of us.
Oh yes, there still is. I wouldn't dream of disappointing you. In fact, Julia, I'd like very much for you to be part of it.
Impossible.
We shall see. By the way, Miss Schofield, did you come alone?
Yes.
Let up on the gas. We don't want to get too close to arouse suspicion.
What do you think he plans to do with her?
We'll find out soon enough. He's headed to the Science Center.
Now you can see what I do to traitors.
What do you mean?
There will be a price to pay for leaking all my secrets. In the first phase, the subject was completely subdued with fear. With the second phase came the addition of knowledge, which allowed him to live, but he lacked direction. He had the power, but he had no idea what to do with it.
He knew he had to stop you.
That is how I discovered just what the extent of his power was.
Is he...
Dead. Yes, he is. But before he expired, we had witnessed his total dominance over machines and computers. That's when I knew what the final phase would be. In theory, one mechanized man could control every computer in the world, thereby setting up an intricate worldwide web of chaos. I have set up a complex system which will activate our conversion process on every computer monitor in the world. Everyone within eyesight of a monitor would become mechanized. I'll just set the timer, and we're done. Just kidding. The program is too complex for a mere human like myself to run it. You are a coward who betrayed me. You, on the other hand, have fire in your soul, and I'd love to see what the process would do to such a pretty face.
I'll never be part of your plans.
Yes, I see that now. John, sit in the chair now, or I'll execute him. Incredible stroke of good fortune, don't you agree?
What is?
Well, we were at a loss as where we would find another recipient, and then John turns out to be the defector. Therefore, it's only natural that we try out the final phase on him. You see, everything happens as part of a grand plan. He was fated to sit in the chair.
I can't go along with that.
As an admitted traitor, he deserves this. This will show how I stamp out betrayal. Conversion complete and successful. He is fully conscious. And now, John, execute the final phase of my plan. Let's turn my vision into reality.
Don't do it, John. You don't have to obey him. If you still value human life, you won't do this.
Let me make it simple for you, John. Either activate the program now, or I will shut you down. You've lost, Julia. Once the program is fully warmed up, it cannot be stopped. In just a matter of minutes, the machines will be set free. What's wrong? Continue. That will be all, John. My word, I do seem to bring out the worst in people. Well, I could hardly do this to myself. So winner by default. That leaves you.
I'd rather die than participate in your destiny.
Yes, I believe you would.
Stop!
I'm sorry it had to end for you like this. But then, all forms of beauty must eventually fade. So delicate. And yet this is the last time you as a being of flesh and blood will ever come into contact with someone else. But look at the bright side. Your sacrifice will help make it possible for me to reach someone I care a great deal for. My wife and only love. If it will make you feel any more comfortable, I could hold your hand while it happens.
You go to hell!
What, you knew we were watching you?
Yeah, call it reporter's intuition. What took you so long?
We had to drive around till we found a way in.
It's over, Dietrich.
Why, hello. More visitors. How nice of you to drop by.
Remember me?
Oh yes, the FBI agent. I assume you have a warrant this time, Mr. Lankus.
It's very funny, Dietrich. I believe I have all the evidence I need here.
I am going to expose you and your corrupt organization. The public will know all about you and what happened here. You are finished.
You really think it's over? Do you think for one moment that I'd let my work end like this?
I am calling my media connections. Soon there will be enough reporters here to cover the next celebrity double homicide.
I'll take over from here.
My phone doesn't work down here. Stan, help me find another one.
That'll be enough, Dietrich. Stop what you're doing.
You don't really expect me to believe you'll just shoot me after all we've been through? You must be a bit curious as to what makes a mind like mine tick.
What's wrong?
This apparently is a modem-only phone.
I'm warning you, stop what you're doing.
Why don't you just arrest me?
I'm taking you into custody.
No!
I got it. Take me! You see now, the game is not over. Fantastic. I can see them. The entire mechanized world. It's all so clear to me now.
Was it worth it, Dietrich? Did you reach your wife?
That no longer matters. A higher design is all that matters. Now for the grand finale. For real. You see, Julia, even though we will coexist, we are not content simply to exist in your world. Now that we have successfully entered mankind's world, we will be taking over. We will create a new mechanized world.
You can't possibly restart the program. John smashed the deck.
Don't be naive, Julia. He only smashed a portion of the deck. With my new advanced speed, I can reroute power around any damaged circuits without delay.
Not if I can help it.
Sorry to disappoint you two, but I cannot be stopped. Prepare for the end. What are we gonna do?
I'm thinking.
You might as well give up now, Julia. Your time is almost up and you will lose. It's almost disappointing to me. You put up such a fight and only to fail now in the game's final minutes.
Cannot directly shut down the program. He's in control of all the systems here.
2-minute warning! It's the beginning of the end for humanity!
Can't do anything from the inside. Unless...
What are you doing? I told you that's a modem-only phone. It can only connect to other computers.
You are too late. No course of action could succeed for you now. At last, my vision will become reality in 10 seconds.
You did it.
You ruined everything, Julia. But at least I will have the pleasure of ending your life.
Julia.
Your pitiful display of emotion did not impress me.
I don't need to impress you. You are mechanized now. You possess all those fantastic abilities. And yet, you seem to be lacking something. You want something that I have.
Don't flatter yourself. What could you possibly have that I want?
Ah, that's the question. But your sense of the loss is clear to me. Oh, I know what it is. It's gone.
What?
Basic human emotion. It's all but gone now, isn't it? Feelings is what makes humans stronger than machines. Your quest for higher intelligence, you lost sight of that somehow. And all of your intelligence won't make up for it.
We'll see.
Step away from her.
Out of my way, weakling. This is between me and Julia.
Stan?
What's the matter, Julia? Feeling cornered?
Diedrich! Holy mother of God, you're some kind of mechanical monster.
You know, Lankus, you really should stop by more often. Seems like things have changed so much since I saw you last.
No thanks, the less I see of you, the better.
I'm still waiting for that warrant, Mr. Lankus. You hear me, FBI? I want the damn warrant!
Here's your damn warrant.
No! That's all I have left of my Wraith Alexis!
Congratulations, Lankus. You've finally gotten under my skin. Such bravery. Too bad you're in a mismatch.
Leave him alone, Dietrich.
Julia, I'll be with you momentarily. I'm sorry, Alexis. I failed you.
Stan, are you alright?
Nothing a few shots wouldn't fix.
Medical shots?
Tequila shots. Alright, I got it. Let's go. So how'd you do it, Julia?
How'd I do what?
Stop Diedrich. His plans seemed flawless.
Oh. Well, remember that old computer virus at work?
Right.
Well, I contacted that system on Dietrich's modem. And when the breakdown occurred, it brought down all the online systems in Dietrich's laboratory, so he had nothing to go through. Oh, there he is, Lankus.
How very clever of you, Julia.
Dietrich. But I saw you go down back there.
The human mind is such an easy thing to fool. I just discovered I can make your brain see what I want it to see. Did you really think that weak-spirited love interest of yours could overpower me? No use! I control all things mechanical. Say goodnight, dearie.
What are you waiting for? Just get it over with.
Before, when I touched you, I could feel you. Such soft skin. So delicate. Now I can't feel anything. If only I had known that was the last chance I would ever get to feel your beauty. But now I'm a cold machine, and I can never go back to who I was. Goodbye, Alexis.
Is it over, Julia?
Yes, it is.
I'm so proud of you, Julia. You stood up to him and you beat him.
But you were the brave one. You came to my rescue. You almost got yourself killed for me.
Hey, I almost got myself killed too.
Yeah, you're right, Lankus. Not bad for an FBI stiff. I can't believe it's over. I spent years struggling to get back to the top, and now that I'm there, it's a new beginning.
Well, you know, there's one thing I haven't been able to figure out. How did you manage to get away from Diedrich?
You probably wouldn't believe it, but I really think he just let me go.
You think he just let you go?
Yes, I think he allowed me to escape.
Why would he do that?
I think by becoming mechanical, he had realized how many things he had lost. Like simple things, things that make us human. Like this, the beauty of life. Things that make us happy or sad.
So actually, his plan would have taken humans several steps backwards instead of to a higher plane like he had imagined.
Oh yes, yes. I think he took a good look at the mechanical world and he really didn't like what he saw.
You think such a world really exists? A world where machines are resentful of humans?
Stan, I don't know. In fact, I don't know a lot of things. For instance, what to do with my life right now. I mean, I have put so much time and energy into rebuilding my career, and now that I'm there, I don't know what's next.
Well, you know, maybe now's the time to step away from it all. Take some time off, have some fun.
Fun? I think I can do that. Hey, let's toast to fun.
Cheers.
Cheers. So, how do we start on fun?
Well, I assume you haven't forgotten how to dance.
Dance. I love that. You were wonderful.
Well, I'm glad you saved some of that fire for me.
You thought I was full of hot air, didn't you?
I never said that.
Oh. Oh!
What's wrong?
Oh, it's my eyes. Burning a lot lately.
Julia, what was that?
Stan, what's happening to me?
Julia! 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 Julia!
No!
What's wrong?
Oh, Stan. Oh, I had that nightmare again.